The story of Jesus' betrayal and arrest can be found in Matthew chapter 26. Jewish leaders determined to kill Jesus because he had revealed their sins to the multitudes. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, was also a thief. He agreed to betray Jesus to his enemies for 30 pieces of silver. After teaching his disciples how to partake of the Lord's Supper in memory of his death, Jesus went to Gethsemane. There he prayed that he might avoid the suffering of the cross, but even so, he was willing to obey his Father's will. Judas came bringing soldiers to capture Jesus and showed the soldiers which man to arrest by kissing him. When Jesus refused to allow his disciples to defend him, they all forsook him and fled. Later, Peter denied him 3 times, just as Jesus had earlier predicted he would. Most of us can only imagine how terrible this would be. But if you have ever had a friend turn his back on you, then you have a tiny taste of what Jesus experienced. He left the joys of heaven, had come to earth, and had spent years teaching his disciples. Yet, when it appeared that his enemies were about to defeat him, one of his disciples betrayed him for money. Another denied him 3 times, and all the others forsook him. Yet, he accepted all this so he could save them and us from sin.
Trial and crucifixion. We will not discuss many details, but consider some of the evidence that Jesus was innocent and not worthy of sin. In Matthew 26, 57 to 67, in the Jewish trial, Jewish leaders sought grounds to kill Jesus, but could not find valid proof, even with the help of many false witnesses. Finally, they convicted him of blasphemy because he claimed to be the Christ. But it was easy to prove that he claimed to be Christ. The question was the claim true or false? The Jews never even considered that. They just ignored all the evidence that he was Christ and convicted him of making a blasphemous claim. Judas admitted he had betrayed an innocent person and hung himself. Jesus was taken before the Roman governor Pilate, where the Jews accused Jesus of teaching people not to pay tribute to Caesar, despite the fact that they knew he had really thought just the opposite. Pilate sent Jesus to Herod, who mocked him and sent him back to Pilate. Pilate then told the people that neither he or Herod found any fault in Jesus worthy of death. Pilate repeatedly stated that Jesus was innocent and tried to release him, but the Jews refused. Pilate's wife sent a message saying she knew Jesus was innocent, but the Jews said they and their children would bear responsibility for his death, so Pilate called Jesus to be crucified. In Matthew 27, 27 to 57, read Matthew's account of the actual crucifixion. John 18, 31 to 34 adds that Jesus' side was pierced with a spear to guarantee he was dead. So no one ever proved Jesus was guilty of any wrongdoing. His betrayers, 2 of his judges, Pilate and Herod, and even the wife of one of the judges, all declared him to be innocent. Yet he was crucified as a criminal. We'll now have this song, "The Day He Wore My Crown."
The city was Jerusalem. The time was long ago. The people called him Jesus. The crime was the love that he showed. himself the day he wore my crown. He brought me love that only he could give, but I brought him cause to cry. And though he taught me how to live, I taught him how to die. And I'm the one to blame. I caused all his pain. He gave himself the day he wore my crown. He could have called his holy Father and say, take me away, please take me away. He could have said that I'm not guilty, and I'm not gonna stay, I'm not gonna pay. But he walked right through the gates and then on up the hill. And as he fell beneath the weight, he cried, Father, not my will. And I'm the one to blame. I caused all the pain. Himself the day he wore my crown. He wore my crown, and I'm the one to blame, 'cause I caused all his pain.